Okay, so you've fitted your heat grip mat. So let's have a look at the cable system now. It comes in a kit form, so whatever size you've chosen, 1 metre, 2 metre, 5 metre, that's what you'll get in the box. Your right amount of wire you need. It comes with a conduit if you want to fit the wire in a conduit in the wall. You get 2 probes as standard, which is a good thing because whenever I do any floors I always order an extra probe, but with Progres profiles you get 2 in the box. They do a Wi-Fi digital thermostat, so you can order that as well if you want a thermostat. So the unique thing about this cable, what I like, is this is just one I'm going to be using for a job pretty soon, so I've had to open up a box. So the good thing about this cable is I can fit it to the maximum area on the floor that where I want my heating wire, and I can just, when I finished, instead of trying to balance the floor out and getting cold spots and warm spots, and I can just lay the wire out, then wherever I want it to finish, I can just cut it. So I can fit it, obviously 50 mil away from the wall, all the way around the room, and get the maximum heat in the room on the floor. If you've only got a small area, you need to get, and you want to get heat in there, you need to get right to the walls if you can. So this heating system now, it's called Prodeso Heat Grip. So the wire is very simple to fit. Always check before you start, check your resistance. So get yourself a resistance reader. You only need a cheap one, just connect the ends up, check the resistance, make sure it's working. So then, this is the cold tail. This always has to be in the floor and covered with adhesive. Don't ever cover that with tape. It fits in the heat grip mat pretty well anyway. So the cable's nice and subtle. It's not stiff where you've got to try and bend it. So you can either do it with your hand. You can go to 2 reliefs, which gives you about 190 watt per square meter of heat. 3 reliefs, which will give you about 150. So I recommend three for floors, and if you want to do it on walls, you can do it to 2 reliefs. So you can actually fit this on walls as well. And if you're doing quite a lot of floors with big runs, you go from one end to the other. You can actually get this little roller, which makes it easier. So you just pull the wire and roll it down. Same again to the next one. Turn the corner, hold it tight and roll it. So you're not running it down with your fingers, which I do quite a lot anyway. Or you just put the wire in like that and it stays in. So with this cable because you are able to cut this cable, it comes in various different kit sizes. I think it goes from 1 metre to like 9 metres for the wall for 2 reliefs, and from 2 metres to 15 metres for 3 reliefs. And you can actually, but if you say for example you're doing a big site with hundreds of bathrooms, you can actually buy a big roll of cable, the heating cable, and just cut it to suit each room. Because then in effect you can actually make the cold cable yourself. They sell this as a kit. It consists of some cold cable, a heat shrink wrap, which is the same as that there, and the end for sealing off the end. So you can buy all them separately. Depends which way you want to do it. You want to just buy a roll of cable and then make your own, just make it as you go along. So if I'm saying, for example, now I've done this floor, and I want to get right to the edge, I want to get right around the toilet, around the sink, etc. And I finish there. So what it's got on the wire for safety, it's got resistances built in every 600 mil. So it's like little squares you can see on it. When you get the wire, you'll see. If I can show you. So it's like squares like that. But that's telling you where So it's angled up here where the resistances are. So in between that one and this one, there, that's 600 mil. So if I cut in the middle, that's the best place to cut it. Don't cut on the resistance, cut in the middle of the resistance. Okay, so all I do then, get myself a little board. You can just cut this with a knife. I've got myself some wire strippers. Cut the end off. Just like to leave a little bit of cable sticking out the end. I'm not an electrician, but you don't have to be a sparky to do this. It's quite simple. So then you get some heat shrink wrap, plastic heat shrink wrap. But as I said, you can actually get these as an accessory. So if you don't want to keep cutting shrink wrap, make it easier, just buy that already done for you. The ends sealed off. So then I'll get some shrink wrap, cut it about 60 mil. Done. Just buy a big roll of it. So then all you have to do then, I've bought myself a cheap little £20 heat gun. Put it on low, put your shrink wrap over the cable, feel where your wire is, just leave a little bit of a gap at the end. Just take the wire to the heat, and the plastic will just shrink onto the cable, and that seals it. And you can actually see when it's done because the glue starts oozing out of the end, and I'll show you in a second. So when the glue starts oozing out, you know it's sealed. So the very end part, because it's open, there's no cable running right through it, you just have to close the end off. So I just put the end on, and put my Stanley knife on it for a couple of seconds so the glue seals. Then I know you can see all the glue coming out of the end. Just give it a twist round. What I'm looking for is all the glue is coming out of the end. That's sealed, so that's ready now. So let's just move this out of the way. So wherever I want to finish this now, I'll just cut it, seal the end, and you don't even have to trim the carrier mat. Just pushes in. That's it, done, and you can just tile. How easy is that? I don't know how many jobs I've done where I thought, you know what, if only I could cut the wire. And Progress Profiles have done it, innovation, and it's the way it needed to go. And it is safe, it's because it's got resistances built in the wire. It's the latest technology wire. So resistance is built in for safety. So once you get to there, if you cut so far away from the resistance, it'll just not work up to the resistance, and then it starts working again. So even if you're trialing it and if you nick it, you can just tile it, carry on working. Okay, so that's Prodeso Heat Grip. Whereas a lot of the other systems, well, all the other systems on the market now, you have to lay it and you can't cut it. This system now, it can be cut. Okay.